Have you ever felt drained just by being around people, not in a dramatic way, but as if the energy in the room weighs heavier on you than everyone else? It's not hatred, not really. It's something more complicated, something people rarely admit aloud. Some people feel more at ease with distance than with closeness. Not because they dislike humanity, but because being around people feels heavier than it should, drains them, confuses them, even makes them question themselves. Have you ever felt a tug of reluctance before stepping into a room filled with chatter, or chosen the long way home, just to avoid bumping into someone, or felt a strange kind of pressure when someone asks a simple question? If so, then you know the feeling I'm talking about. It's not hatred. Not really. It's something more layered, more complex. Some individuals don't dislike people. They dislike what people bring out in them. They dislike the roles they feel forced to play, the expectations they have to meet, the subtle emotional math they must constantly perform. Adjust this part of themselves, hide that part. Soften a truth, make that expression. Every moment becomes a negotiation between authenticity and acceptance. And for some people, that negotiation is exhausting. It's too easy to say someone is simply introverted or socially reserved. The truth is more nuanced. Many people who claim they dislike others are some of the most observant, sensitive, and thoughtful individuals alive. They don't dislike people in the literal sense. They dislike the emotional labor, the effort attached to interacting with them. Think about it. When someone walks into a crowded room, their mind doesn't just register faces, it registers signals. The tone in someone's voice, the tension in someone's posture, the subtle shifts in energy. Some individuals process all of this rapidly, intensely. They absorb too much. They notice too much. Noticing too much can make the world feel overwhelmingly loud, like standing in front of 100 screens, all playing a different channel, all demanding attention. This is called emotional overstimulation. It's not a disorder, not a flaw, simply a heightened sensitivity. People who experience this often need more space than others. They aren't avoiding humanity, they're preserving themselves. Too much emotional input from the outside can make their internal world unstable, so they pull away, not as a rejection, but as self-regulation. Some individuals feel disconnected because people have been a source of confusion or disappointment, not in dramatic ways, but in subtle, cumulative ways. Maybe they learned early that conversations often have hidden meanings. Maybe kindness felt conditional. Maybe trust could be taken away without warning. Over time, the safest place becomes distance. Not isolation, distance. A small emotional buffer where they can breathe without feeling watched, judged, or misunderstood. Society expects us to be endlessly friendly, endlessly patient, endlessly accessible. For some people, this feels artificial. They aren't energized by casual interactions or small talk. They prefer depth, truth, conversations with meaning, not exchanges out of obligation. Because these moments are rare, they often choose solitude, not out of dislike for humanity, but out of preference for authenticity. Here's the paradox. Many people who claim to dislike others actually crave connection, just not the kind they usually get. They want silence to feel comfortable. They want honesty without fear, closeness without pressure. Until they find those few, they settle into solitude as a temporary shelter. Another layer, protective detachment. They've learned, consciously or unconsciously, that lowering their guard has a cost. So they create a barrier, not a wall made of anger, but a shield of caution. They move quietly through the world, observing more than participating. They appear distant, uninterested, y even cold. Inside, their mind is constantly evaluating. Is this safe? Genuine? Will this drain me? If the answer feels uncertain, they step back, and stepping back becomes a habit. Their inner world is vivid. Their thoughts are deep. Their imagination is rich. Their solitude is full. Full of ideas, memories, reflections, possibilities. When someone tries to pull them out too quickly, they feel disrupted rather than included. Solitude feels safe. To those who have learned that being misunderstood is more painful than being alone, people misread their silence as coldness. They misread calm as disinterest. They misread distance as rejection. But these individuals care deeply. They just express it differently. They care from afar, with thoughtfulness rather than noise. They don't want permanent distance. They want closeness. They just want a form of closeness that doesn't drain them. They want relationships where they can stay themselves without constantly adjusting who they are. They want people who understand that silence is comfort, not discomfort. They crave emotional freedom. Freedom to feel, to think, to express themselves without performance. And because that freedom is rare, they protect themselves until they find it. Some people become overwhelmed, not because of past pain, but because they're naturally introspective. Their default state is inward. They gain clarity from reflection, not from conversation. Social interaction is like a busy street. Interesting, stimulating, but not a place to live. Some people thrive in energetic environments because their threshold for stimulation is high. Others reach that threshold quickly. Their mind becomes crowded, their emotions cluttered. They need silence, like others need music, stillness. Like others need movement. Asking them to socialize constantly is like asking someone to run a marathon every day. They could do it, but the cost is tremendous. Why do some people say, "I dislike people"? Because it's easier to blame the world than to explain their complexity. It's easier to say, "People drain me," than to say, "I feel overwhelmed by every interaction." It's easier to say, "I like being alone," than to say, "I don't know how to connect without losing pieces of myself." It's easier to say, "I dislike people," than to say, "I struggle to feel safe being fully myself around others." Most individuals who say they dislike people are incredibly compassionate. Not loud compassion, not public, but quiet, deep, enduring compassion. They care about fairness, respect, sincerity, and they feel emotions in high resolution. They move through life with introspection, constantly asking why they feel what they feel. Sometimes that becomes overwhelming. They feel too much inside to handle too much outside. Many people who dislike people actually love humanity. They love stories, creativity, resilience. They struggle with humans as responsibility, not humans as a concept. Because of this, they are thoughtful. They don't enter relationships casually. They choose people only when they feel safe. Their circle is small, not because they dislike others, but because authenticity matters deeply. When they trust someone, they become extraordinary listeners. Their quietness makes them attentive. Their introspection makes them empathetic. Their caution makes them gentle. They navigate the world with an internal struggle, wanting closeness, but feeling safer alone. Wanting connection, but needing to protect peace. They balance solitude and connection, like a tightrope, carefully, constantly. Deep inside, they hope for someone. A moment, a connection, a conversation that makes closeness feel safe, natural, effortless. Not everyone drains. Some give Not everyone confuses. Some clarify. Until then, they carry this quiet truth. Disliking people isn't about people. It's about protection. It's about energy. It's about limits. It's about preserving fragile parts of themselves. If someone truly understood their mind, they'd realize. These individuals don't push people away because they feel nothing. They push people away because they feel everything. They ask themselves, why does being alone feel natural, while being around people feels exhausting? Why is small talk like work? Why is conversation like emotional math? The answer lies in stories rarely told, experiences that shaped them. Moments where trust was broken, honesty dismissed, feelings criticized, personalities punished. Small emotional injuries accumulate quietly, persistently, like drops of water carving stone. Not all social interactions feel nourishing. Some drain, some create tension, some force unnatural roles. Avoidance is protection, not misanthropy. Their inner voice is loud, thoughtful, analytical. They dissect emotions, interpret behavior, constantly processing subtleties. Others ignore. Anticipatory regulation happens. They rehearse interactions, analyze outcomes, prepare for misunderstandings, spend energy before they even speak. Socializing is tiring because their mind is always active, always observing, always noticing, always processing. Yet they long for ease, moments without rehearsal, people who understand silence, depth. The way their mind works, it's not that they want to be alone forever. They want connection. Without overwhelm, they've learned resilience, to be their own companion, to care for themselves, to enjoy their thoughts, to create an inner world of understanding. Not everyone makes it through their walls, but the right person, the right connection, allows them to open naturally. Softness emerges. Humor, intelligence, vulnerability. They dislike chaos, inconsistency, unpredictability. They dislike guessing what people mean. They dislike being forced into roles. The right people offer presence, not pressure. They open beautifully when trust exists. Patience is key. With themselves, wheat patterns, with slow trust. Connection builds gradually, not instantly. Old emotional rules, protective habits, sometimes keep them disconnected, even when safe connection exists. They are social deeply, social, but only under the right conditions. They value loyalty, sincerity, emotional safety. And when they find it, they become committed, generous, devoted. Their emotions run deep. Their minds wander. They find meaning in silence, beauty in simplicity, comfort in solitude. They feel life slowly, emotionally, before expressing, responding, engaging. Fast-paced social situations overwhelm, like asking a painter to finish a masterpiece in 5 minutes. Everyone moves at a different emotional speed. Some thrive on rapid exchanges. Others need time, reflection, stillness. They interpret emotions, both theirs and others, intensely. They feel other people's emotions almost as their own. Empathy drains energy. It's not people they dislike, it's emotional overflow. They create boundaries, not out of rejection, but to manage emotional bandwidth. The world misunderstands them. Quietness seems cold, distance seems indifferent, but they feel everything, intensely, deeply. Their silence is not emptiness. Their distance is not rejection. It's self-preservation, introspection, thoughtfulness. They hope for people who bring calm, clarity, peace, for connection that feels like warmth, not obligation. They want someone who knocks gently, stays long enough for the walls to lower, doesn't rush, understands that careful trust is not closed. It's cautious. When the right connection enters, the world feels less loud. Conversation feels lighter. Emotional weight becomes manageable. They laugh freely, speak openly, share honestly. Their inner world, once guarded, becomes visible. Hallowed, shared. Disliking people isn't rejection of humanity. It's longing for the right humanity. It's sensitivity, self-preservation, discernment. If the world understood this, fewer people would hide behind distance. They'd be seen for what they are. Thoughtful, sensitive, perceptive, navigating a loud, fast, careless world. Deep down, even the most distant person wants to be understood, accepted, cared for, close. Without losing themselves, when that desire is finally met, they realize they never disliked people. They just needed the right ones.